Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 645. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week, we're adding another game to the list. We're celebrating the life of the PlayStation with Incredible Crisis, the infuriating, maddeningly fun, uh, impulse-driven minigame collection, I suppose. More on that later. Matt, what's your favorite ska band?
Fuck, ska? You think I listen to ska?
Yeah, why not? Who doesn't listen to
Is
ska?
is that fish? Is that a fish?
Real Big
Ph
Fish? Is that what you're?
Phish fish? They're a band, right? Is that
No,
ska?
yeah, they are a band. They are not ska.
Okay, all
They
right.
are.
Still searching for my answer then. Uh, pa.
Yeah, I can name two ska bands. I know that much, but one of them's Real Big Fish. Yeah, no, not. I'm not huge into ska. This game's filled with ska. I would say my favorite ska song that I thought was Real Big Fish, but I don't think it is. I think it's Smash Mouth. Um, covering Why Can't We Be Friends?
Oh, that's
It is Smash Mouth. And I don't know that you'd consider that ska, but in the movie Basketball, the best one of the two best movies
okay.
ever made,
Yep.
that song is in there, and it very much has a ska vibe to it. I'm looking at the. It does say the Wikipedia page calls it ska punk and alternative rock.
Ska punk.
So
Huh.
Larry Flick from Billboard wrote, "Hot on the heels of Walking on the Sun comes a wonderfully festive, anthemic rendition of War's pop R&B chestnut."
I mean, so Google is considering Sublime to be, or no, Wikipedia is a ska punk band.
I feel like people who like ska would disagree, but
That's what I would think, but I mean, we're going off of Wikipedia. I think I might have my favorite ska band.
how do you define ska? Do you have a definition for ska?
I don't know, shit I
We're
don't
gonna
listen
this.
to that sounds like you need to be in a mood, or maybe a certain drug needs to be involved to get all the pleasures of listening to it.
All right, now I see why you thought Fish was a ska band. That makes more sense.
Dude, I literally
I think
I don't know a Fish song. I've never
I'm
heard a Fish beat. I
I'm
just
with
said
you.
Fish.
Fish is like a jam band. They are like a drug kind of adjacent thing. Ska to me, I never associated with drugs. Maybe there's crossover there that I'm unaware of.
I
But
could be
I
wrong.
think of ska as
Not even could. Probably am wrong.
it's like if people who were into punk rock decided to get a guy with a trumpet or a trombone in the band. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Okay.
all right, well we're kind of doing punk things, but we're not gonna go like
So,
that far.
so question: where does that put Yellow Card? Because they have a violinist.
Uh, gat, I think is the term. Um, I don't know. I do know that Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra did a lot of the music, all of the music, for this video game that we're talking about today. I also know that Incredible Crisis, the video game, is developed by Polygon Magic, published by Titus Interactive for the PlayStation in North America, first released November 6th, 2000. Just past its 25th anniversary. The back of the box reads, "The severe fun of Incredible Crisis is all about maintaining your sanity as you help Taneo's family get home in time for Grandma's birthday. It's a happy day and the worst day of their life as they endure hundreds of hilarious and cardiac arrest inducing dilemmas. You'll laugh, cry, freak out, and perhaps soil your shorts while your mental and physical reflexes are put to the test. The controls are simple, but thumb and forefinger injury is still a risk. Be warned, this game is severely fun and may cause obsessive compulsive behavior, if not nervous disorders and or involuntary twitches. Enjoy severe fun. 24 minigames. Music by Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. AOL calls it one of the funniest things you'll ever put in your PlayStation, and Game Fan says it's the wackiest, most intriguing, fun PlayStation game of the year. Learn more at titusgames.com. Incredible Crisis. Had you heard of this game before I
Nope.
added it to the list this year? Not at all?
No. No.
Dang.
Nope.
This was one of those ones I've seen played, I've seen talked about. It's one of the like go-to examples I feel like people pull out for like, oh yeah, weird PS1 games they used to make and how wacky and weird and Japanese games used to be.
Now, I will say I didn't know this game, but when I looked up the developer after playing it, just for context going into the episode, I did see they were the maker of another series that I have heard of, at least. Galarians.
Oh, they did do, yeah, dude. Man, I really want us to play Galarians for the podcast, but I
I thought about it
think
for a
it's
hot
expensive.
second.
I think it's
Well,
expensive. Am I
well,
misremembering
I didn't even get that
this?
far. Let's. Yeah.
I'm finding out right now. But yeah, that they've done some stuff. The Polygon Magic. They did Galarians. They did the sequel to Galarians. They worked on a handful of arcade games. Thrill Drive 3, Lethal Enforcers 3.
Silent Hill, the arcade.
Yeah, Silent Hill, the arcade. They did the Dracula arcade game. Yeah, Galarians is like $100 if you want it complete in box. I don't know. Maybe when we launch the Patreon, we can make that a stretch goal.
Okay.
I'm also seeing that Polygon Magic is a company. There's no past tense here. So theoretically, they're still making stuff, still working on the future of video games. Or not. It looks like they might have gone into like consumer goods or something.
Oh man, is this another terminal
terminal reality?
Terminal reality, that was it. Yeah. That was it.
It could be. Incredible Crisis is not. So I've heard of this one, but I'd never played it. And the more I'd not played it, the more I knew it needed to be on the list. For me, a big part of my selection this year, if this is your first episode joining us, Matt and I, somewhere in the year prior to the current year, we independently start identifying the games that we want to play the following year. We build a big list and then we narrow it down to 16 each. We make dumb presentations that we show only one another, and then that's the hit. That's what we're doing for the year. For me, coming into this year, I talked a little bit about this at our end of the year podcast. I've grown really tired of a lot of modern game design and a lot of what we see. There's a lot of good that comes out of it, right? I think that in many ways games respect a player's time more, but I also think in other ways they completely don't, and they've taken a wrong turn. I also think that gameplay is not always something first. I feel like the thing that goes into a lot of, and I'm speaking in blanket statements and I'm being a little unfair, but I do think a lot of modern games tend to adhere to like what is the common expectation from a player rather than like designing a game and figuring, right? Like I think if a game like Incredible Crisis came out today, it would probably, well, I don't know that it would, but it would focus more on like making sure the control input matched traditional control input schemes, and that I don't know. I guess I don't want to think too hard about what would happen to Incredible Crisis if it was reimagined by a modern team. point is, in coming into this year, I'd realized like I really wanted to go back to a lot of the stuff from PS1 that just I'd never fully experienced because I think there was a lot of innovation happening in game design, in what you could or couldn't get away with in a 3D space. I think the PlayStation offered a lot of new opportunity for developers to bring stuff like full audio, full CD audio to a soundtrack, but also get to play with. I mean, PlayStation's obviously it's one of the first 3D home consoles, 3D graphics home consoles, but it handles 2D in a really, really interesting way as well. And we get to see that in certain games, but um, it's a cool machine. And I think it opened up the imaginations of people in the late 90s. It also is like, for me, I know the PS2 became so ubiquitous with the global gaming market, but by the time we hit PS2, you start to get a lot more of like video game is a pronoun with, you know what I mean? It's a business at this point. It's big. And we've only kind of gotten worse from there. PS1's to me like still experimental. You know, we're still like it's okay to take a risk and make something weird and be a little odd. It's okay if a game doesn't feel perfect or if it, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't need to have so much polish because we're just screwing around and we're making something and we're going to put it out. I'm being reductive, but that was sort of my approach to coming into this year. So half of my list for season 14 is dedicated to the PlayStation. And Incredible Crisis is the first one. So first reaction looking up this game, what did you think about it, expect from it? What were you assuming
I
coming
kind
into
of
it?
went in as blind as I could. You are the one that kind of told me it was like WarioWare. You said then I very much reducted. You went and elaborated a little bit more, but the main idea was it was like WarioWare on PlayStation with a
Yeah.
family. You kind of like I said, you said more, but and all right, I was like, all right, mini games, got it. I can do mini games. I know micro games. I've been there and done that a few times. Um, yeah, so with that, I just kind of booted it. I pulled up the instruction manual, and it doesn't have a lot in it. So even the instruction manual kind of, I was still flying pretty blind going into what it would be exactly.
Yeah, I mean the instructions like gives you a brief overview of each of the characters you'll play as, a screenshot from each of their games, control input, but you really learn a lot about each mini game as you get into each mini game. Um, Fun fact about Incredible Crisis: if you want to play it today, you still can uh, through the PlayStation 3 store or Vita. If you still, yeah, you can go that route. Um, you just need to add funds through the PlayStation 4, the web store, or whatever. But you can still buy
Hey,
Incredible Crisis.
don't sigh at
I know.
that. There's another company that took
I'm
it all away.
no, I'm very. That's why I call it out. Thank you, Sony, for, and I think technically, thank you, Jim Ryan. And you know I'm not quick to do that for still maintaining a way for us to buy these games because it's importante. Um, so you start out, it's grandma's birthday, but whoops, everybody's out and about. They got to get home, and all of these things kind of coalesce to prevent them from getting home, which brings you, the player, into the fold to help the family.
Kind of glossed
Uh,
over why, oh, everyone has things going on. Yeah, you kind of glossed over that point because you descended to madness.
you want to elaborate?
Well, I mean, there's an alien invasion going on, and there's crisscross between the family characters, which we'll get into how these play out. But but yeah, there's like a one at one point, it's like you're fighting off a giant teddy bear. You're trying to take out the aliens, but then oh no, they're actually the good ones. So you defend the aliens. And this it could be at chapter 3 at this point. That's not including escaping a heist or just trying to escape literally the workday. uh
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, just a few things going on a lot in the lives of this or in the life of this family.
a little bit to keep them away from getting home. Um, it's very cinematic up front, like kind of giving you what do you call it? I don't know, like there's cutscenes right away. We get to see the family together. We set up the story. We set up what we're kind of up against, and really quickly you're thrown into Teneo's chapter, the story of Teneo. Chapter one: Goodbye Imperial Development Company. Um, we see that he's kind of nodding off at work and is woken up to participate in daily calisthenics, which we saw before in the Shinchan game, but very common Japanese occurrence in the morning. And then you need to play a mini game that is kind of like Parappa the Rapper to uh, dance to the beat and make sure you keep your skill level above a failing level. Um, right off the bat, I feel like this one was already like, okay, I gotta figure out what they want from me because the input didn't feel quite right. The responsiveness didn't feel. It was a little off. Did you get that too?
No, I kind of
This
nailed
one,
that first mini game.
you fool.
I'm
Um,
I'm sad to say that I didn't start getting the individual scores or grades of my thing until his chapter 3, but
yeah, I wasn't paying
that
attention as much.
segment I got an A on.
Yeah, I I did get an A on his eventually, but I'd lost some lives along the way. So lives are interesting in this game where you basically every time you fail or hit the fail state for a mini game, you lose a life and you get the opportunity to retry that mini game. If you lose all of your lives, it is game over and it's all the way back to the beginning. Um, but by doing well, I forget if it's A plus only or like A on the overall chapter, you'll get additional lives rewarded to
I
you
think
with a maximum
A
of 9.
I think A you get 1, A plus you get it for each mini game that was in the chapter.
There, okay, that's good. Um, following, I'm gonna kind of like run through. I don't know. We can run through some of the ones call out favorites, or the game's short enough. We kind of can probably hit all the mini games and just kind of comment on them. Next up for Teneo is, according to this, the oh right, this is when
You're
you're
running
running
through
out
the
of the building.
boulders. Yeah, you're running from the
Yeah,
boulder.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A big iron ball kind of rolling after you, wrecking ball, and then you need to avoid it. This one,
It's like
you
rhythmic
have
taps because you each
yeah,
time you tap X. So it's like the idea is like you're tapping X to run, but if you tap it too much, you exhaust. There's like 5 water bottle icons or something like that, and every time you tap
yeah. They're like little
X,
energy drinks.
yeah, every time you tap X, one of them goes away, and then in a quick period of time, it comes back. So you have to like rhythmically tap
Yeah,
the
keep
X
him
button in a way that
energized and running.
yeah, and at the same time, hurdles will start coming, so you have to kind of jump or duck with the directional arrow at the same time. Um,
Yeah,
I
like
have here. I got
reminiscent of a
lucky.
horse racing game. I yeah, that's about right. The little energy drinks at the bottom reminded me of any of these like arcade PS1 or arcade era Japanese racing game, horse racing games where you've got like a carrot meter on the screen.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Um, but the refresh time was a little bit more, I think, rapid on this than you get with carrots usually. Once you're there, you reach the elevator, and then you need to whoops, like the elevator cable
Yeah.
snaps, just like all good elevators do, and you need to stop it. This is so. This was the first time I like stopped, made a note, and said like, all right, this is the first game that made me want to quit. Like I got game over on this one. I had to start all the way from the beginning.
I think. I think all my years of playing Metal Gear Solid games and having to go through one of these tap X as much as you can to not tap out or, be interrogator or whatever, I think paid off in this mini game. I also put here, I got lucky again, but I made a note that I was legit out of breath after the mini game was over.
Yeah, dude. It it's really frustrating. You like have to just slam on that. And like some of these, I can't remember if this one you just had X to hit,
It was
right?
just
You didn't have
X.
to hit
This one was
square
just
for
X.
anything.
Nope, this is an
So
X and
this one you
triangle.
could use a different finger
Yeah.
and you're kind of good. There's some games later on where
Yep.
like you've got to use multiple fingers or the way you have to hold the controller more traditionally, and doing it with your thumb sucks. This one was really, really tough. But then you get to Nerd on a Wire, which was tough for being a little obtuse, I think.
This was the first time where I wish there was a little bit more than just the text description.
Yes.
I kind of like a screenshot even would have been like fantastic, because when like they say like wait
Yeah.
for the meter or whatever, like I don't know what meter you're talking about or anything like that. So yeah, that I think that goes into I think one of my biggest problems with this game, and it's like it's minor in the scheme of things, but when you're a mini game like Mario
And when
Party,
the
like
consequences are so dire like this.
yeah, like
So wait, you're saying this should be more like Mario Party?
in the way of when you before you begin a mini game in Mario Party, you have the option not well even the later ones now have like a video of what's going on. But two, it lets you practice with everyone there, and then kind of, all right, when everyone's feeling good, then we can begin. Not saying this needs a practice mode necessarily, but like a screenshot or a small video or something would be great.
I've got our intro for the description of the podcast now. Thank you. Um, yeah, something a little bit more for a game like this, because some of them are easy, but yeah, a little like GIF animation of like just showing like a little baby loop of kind of what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I did not get this one at first. I don't think I really failed this one. I just didn't really know what to do until I like pulled it together. This one too, like there's some parts in it where like I feel like I kind of, especially once the wind starts going and you have to figure out a different meter to deal with. I felt like I figured it out, but I felt like I stumbled my way into a solution. So
Yeah, and for that one, we kind of didn't even talk about it, but like there's a meter where it's like red, yellow, green, and you're on a balance beam, and you have to hold X, and this meter goes across, and the idea is to let go of X when it gets to the green. If you land in the yellow, you kind of start to fall off the pole, but then there's like the Tony Hawk grinding balance meter kind of thing kind of pops up, where you have to kind of balance yourself, and then eventually you'll get yourself back up. And the whole thing is to try to you're on this pole that's on the outside of the building, trying to get back into the building, so you're just trying to slowly cross the pole. So when we say there's meters, but again, I'm trying to describe it, and it took me a little bit longer to maybe describe it in the best way in words without seeing it. This is like, hold X for meter, green, good, hit directional arrows to get back up, and it's like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's not quite. I think I've got it here. Press and hold X button to move towards the green zone. If you lose balance, recover with directional buttons. Pole will snap when the time is up.
I wasn't that far off without looking at it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so that's like I said again, that's and I won't go into it every single time here, but that is like the common. There are just some of these where it's like, what am I doing? And then you burn a life, and you're like, well, fuck. Sometimes you burn 2 lives or more, depending on what game you are.
And it's hard to recover those. This wraps up the first chapter for Teneo. So you do 4 games. I feel like this is the thickest chapter in terms of like subsequent
I can already tell by my
games,
notes.
like having 4 mini games. And then every time you wrap up a chapter, it's your opportunity to save. So if you want to take a break or whatever, but you've got to get through those chapter markers before you can save.
Yeah, and then
Um,
you also at the end of the chapter you get that report card that I kind of alluded to earlier, where you get score per mini game, and then you get like a overall grade, and that's where you can get some lives back. And the way they grade, all these mini games have where your life is, this little like stress meter, and that's usually what games. There's some other factors sometimes too, but most of the time that meter, when it fills up, you game over, and that meter fills up by something being too close to you if it's being chased, or in the DDR game, or in the DDR mini game at the very first one we talked about it, if you screw up too many inputs, you will stress out and you will game over. It kind of takes into account that stress meter when giving you grades, or I guess the amount of time. I think there's a couple of factors under the hood that it doesn't really tell you, but that
yeah,
meter
yeah,
is one of the main ones, I would think.
yeah. Thank you for calling. I forgot entirely about the stress meter, but that one, um, yeah, that's like your visual indicator that you're screwing up. Um, like in the case of that poll one, it's like every time you kind of like miss your input, it goes up a little bit, but like once you get back in the green, it goes back down. So like some games, the meter is only going to increase until it's what there's nothing you can do about pulling. It's just like a mistake counter. Others, there are things you can do to kind of survive that, which we'll see a couple of those in this next chapter. First up, you are randomly asked a bunch of trivia by the paramedics. Taneo falls out of the window, uh, falls from the pole anyway, even though he makes it back in to the building. Um, and then the paramedics are just trying to check his vitals, I suppose. So they ask him a bunch of trivia questions, and you like on the fly need to know the answers to this. And like, it's stuff that's not.
I loved it. I thought it was
I loved it a lot.
ridiculous
Yeah,
enough. Like especially like some of the math questions, like they ask you like your 1+1 or your 1 times 1 kind of questions that kind of trip you up, and then you'll get something like what's 11,264 times, like 23, and it's like what?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
have like 5 seconds to answer. It's not like you sit there with arithmetic and figure it out.
Some of them were like Japan specific, where it
Yeah.
was like, is the height of Tokyo Tower 333 centimeters? And it's just yes, no. I think all of them are yes, no. Um, and then like
Oh yeah, they
there
are.
was
Yeah.
one where, oh, I guess some of the math ones they're you choose the answer that it gives you or whatever. But yeah, then there was like shoot,
I didn't write down some of the
I learned
questions. Sorry.
yeah, I learned that Santa's reindeer are not all one gender apparently. I learned from this because they ask if they're all female, and the answer is no. I also, when I had to retry this game, was asked if they're all male, and the answer was no. So I guess there's, I didn't realize. I never thought about the names, and yeah. What was the other? It was a U.S. one. Oh yeah, is California the westernmost state in the U.S.? Do you know?
No, should be Hawaii.
See, I'm dumb. I'm like, yeah, I think Washington goes past it, but yeah, right, Hawaii. Stupid. And Alaska would be also past California. Same thing with Maine. Like, is that the northernmost state? And like, you'd think about it when you're on the East Coast. Like, yeah, it's the top one. But like, no,
It's
there's
Florida.
stuff in the northernmost.
Oh,
Northernmost.
northernmost. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But going across the top line, like,
it would be Alaska
well,
still.
one, Alaska, but two, like, yeah, fun. Um, Once you kind of get past their trivia game, you're then like accidentally cut loose and you've got to avoid you're on the stretcher and you're just kind of playing a dodge game in traffic,
Playing a terrible Pepsi
which
Man.
yeah, like
It's not good.
no, no, it's another one where you're like just happy it's over and happy you didn't like die too poorly.
Or lost too many lives.
That yeah. And then we find out Taneo's a dirtbag,
Yeah.
and this upset me about Taneo. I didn't expect it. But he gets wowed by a woman, Um, and she asks for a back massage while they're on a Ferris wheel together. And you need to tap
What a
X. Yeah. Tap X to find the pressure points and massage her correctly.
So this is a weird one because the video is just the Ferris wheel because I think it's
Right.
alluding to something else. But
Yeah, there's a top list there. Yeah.
yeah, um, Ferris wheel. But then the only thing you're doing, which it tells you in the text to do, is to try to find the sweet spot for the massage. And so you will get the vibration input when you hit left, down, right, and up. So something's happening, but the screen's not really telling you. What happens is when you hit X to massage, you will be told something like, "Oh, farther left." Or further down, or
Right.
just a touch left, just a touch up.
Yeah.
And then you take that feedback and blindly go like left like 5 more times and then see what the feedback's saying now. And then the whole thing there is to try to hit the sweet spot. I think there's like a meter or something that you're trying to build that's not the crisis meter. Or you were told you had to do it 3 times or something like that. You were told up front
Yeah.
it was going to be multiple times.
It's like a love meter or something, right? Isn't that what
I
they
don't
call it?
I don't remember now. And I did
Pleasure
read it,
meter.
but yeah,
Pleasure meter is what they
pleasure
call out
meter.
in the.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And then that's the end of that chapter. I didn't do so hot on that one. I got DDC on that round.
I still don't have the mini games yet, but I got a B overall.
The chapter 3 for Taneo was chapter 3 the last one for him? Yeah. We end up do you want to like recap the story bit at this point or
Oh, I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, the day is getting out of hand, right, for Taneo, but it turns out the mistress in the Ferris wheel was part of what, some criminals trying to pull off a heist? Was that what they were trying to do?
yeah, I suppose so because we see them, in the next bit.
And so our lady friend escapes the Ferris wheel like all the way up high in a helicopter and kind of leaves Taneo because I think the Ferris wheel is breaking or something like that, or blows up or something.
Yeah.
That leaves our friend dead, and then somehow Taneo falls on like a Navy ship with the guns, and then is told via a screen or a phone or a walkie from his daughter to defend the UFO with like not a lot of context.
Right. Yeah. Just lets him know it's important.
And then you kind of go into a little like rail shooter, like not like you're going like station to station, but it's a little like shooter, and you're trying to prevent. You have these different like ships or fighter jets going through and putting missiles out, and you have to shoot down the missiles before they hit the UFO.
It's pretty. That one was an easy mini game.
Yeah, that was like a legit, just like
radical
shoot the things
shooting.
that are moving.
Straightforward, no weird control input, nothing odd there. You get hit by one of the missiles despite completing the mini game, and you land on a boat for the first time in the game. Titanic Away, number 1.
Yeah, a little bit smaller.
Everybody that lands on this boat seemingly decides it's a good idea to pull the plug out from the middle of it. Water goes shooting everywhere, and then you have to spend the rest of the mini game with a bucket, filling it up and pitching over the water but off the side of the boat. So you're slamming X to fill the bucket, triangle dumps it over, and then there are items that will come flying out from the hole, and you need to use your umbrella to not get hit by them. Except one of the items is the guy on the boat who can't be dodged
Too
by
heavy.
the umbrella or anything else. So you kind of like always take a hit from him whenever he goes up. And it becomes more of a game of like managing when you decide to throw the water, when you decide to use the umbrella, and those types of things.
Yeah, and then that's one time where like your crisis meter is the water level. So if it gets too high, you will fill the crisis meter, but you will take it down by some portion depending on how much water you dumped out of your bucket.
Yep.
This is I'm better at this by the time we get to it again, but I was not good at it this time because I couldn't get the time of the items. They're very floaty. There's not a lot of
Yeah, they
good.
are. Some of them have like a high arc. Some of
Yeah,
them kind of go quick and
I
come
did
down
not
on
know
you.
the
But yeah,
timings of it. It was throwing me all off. I may have failed once here. Actually, I don't think I really listed the fails all that much. But yeah, I'm not shocked. If I wouldn't be shocked if I failed a couple times here.
yeah. I ended up finishing this chapter with a C and a D for those mini games.
This is why I think. This is why I think I failed a couple times because I got a B on the UFO, but I got an A on the water, despite saying how frustrating it is for an A plus. So I think I nailed on the third one. I got down the timing and the
That must have been,
strategy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it for Teneo. Teneo gets back home via the man on the boat, and
That's it.
Grandma's there to greet him, and everyone's happy.
And then we move over to Etsuko, chapter 1. This is the matriarch of the family. We're starting off running errands with Etsuko. She's shopping, goes into a bank. Whoops, it's being robbed by people with wolf heads. Your first minigame, Afternoon of the Wolves, where there are cameras set up, like a 1, 2, 3, 4 situation to show you different angles, or it's 1, 2, 3 different angles within the bank. She's hiding behind a couch, and you tap X to make her start crawling forward. And you need to time it correctly so that you get from point A to point B. I was gonna say like so that you're not within view when one of the people on rotation turn around, but that's not even correct because they failed this game 1,000 times. Um, you need to get from that first point to the second point before they turn around. I didn't think this was impossible, but eventually, like just hammering that X button at the right moment was the key for me.
Yeah, I get another one of those times where like what they were saying made sense kind of on paper, but didn't know what the setup was going to be, and then you see it and it doesn't make a lot of sense what the hell's happening.
No.
I know I failed a couple times here as well, but yeah, no, it's for the cameras being there, the cameras were just filler on the screen. You really just had to pay attention to this. They have an overhead that's just like a diagram of the store and where you are and where the henchmen are.
Exit. Yeah, yeah.
And the exit. But the henchmen have dots, and if they're green, it's green to go. Then it will turn yellow as they walk their path, and when it's turning yellow, it's time to get back or go or make it. Like this is your chance. And then red, you can't go. You'll be seen right away. So you're kind of looking at that more than you are ever the cameras because that's the better indicator than anything the cameras gave you.
The only thing the camera gave me for one of the angles, one of the moments was seeing like, okay, that guy's turning yellow a lot. What's he doing? So I could like look at the other camera and see exactly his positioning and be like, all right, I know what to do with this. There's also a camera in the bathroom pointing at a toilet in one of the scenes, which I was
I didn't even realize that.
I was like, what are we? There's no one there, like, but you just see the camera. But it was just like a fun little joke, I guess. But you get out. Well, you complete the mini game, but then you're caught by the wolves.
Yeah, as you're exiting, one's coming in the cutscene.
Yeah, and then they get to the spreadsheet game, pound for pound. Where you need to help move items from the shopping basket into a plastic bag so that the weight becomes equal.
This was the most frustrating game ever. Like, I fucking hated this game.
I maybe had one more I hated more than this, but this is probably
really. Oh man.
Only because of dexterity was the only other one I couldn't stand.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
It's like the last
It's
mini game,
literally
I
the
think.
last mini game. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think this one's worse. Don't know why.
This one is worse. This is the only one where I had to stop and I made a spreadsheet. I'm not making that up. What
I
was your solution for this?
I did. I took the shortcut. I found someone else's spreadsheet. But I would I
That's
would
good.
I would pause it. I got to the point where like um so to explain the game, yeah, like you are given this list of grocery items and you need to get 6 items to match the exact weight of this like trophy pig. So that way you can do the old
Yeah.
swap, the old heist swap on this like
Yeah.
weight sensitive podium. Fine and dandy. But like the value of the pig is usually some kind of odd number. It's not some kind of, it's nothing like even. So
It was 66 was the weight difference between the empty bag you were transferring to and your other bag. 66. And the bags in the item, or the ones you could transfer, they weren't just clean like
no.
some of them were. Some were like, oh, 2,000 grams, 1,500 grams. But then there was like 59 grams, 33 grams, 11 grams.
27 like it was like stuff where like you can do the addition. The addition's now hard, but the mini game's so quick. Like you
It's
have
very fast.
zero
Yeah.
time. Like by the time you kind of realize what's all available to put into the shopping bag, you're like halfway done. That's not even
Yep.
doing the arithmetic. That is literally just like looking to see what's available. And it's not in
Yeah.
order. It's not like it's in like, oh, the heaviest is up top, the lowest is at the bottom. It's sporadic.
No. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's not even like you can memorize the thing, the weight. It changes each attempt to prevent
Mm,
some of the scumming.
oh.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I got
And
lucky with 66.
so with each attempt, your grocery list can change.
Oh,
So
got it.
it's really fucked
Fun.
up. Like you can't even like, all right, so like you can't even get to the point where it's like, all right, well I definitely need this, and this. Now I'm just trying to figure out the last 2 items. No, you need to figure it out brand new each fucking time, unless you remember every single weight and every single grocery list. Because I'm sure there's only like 3 or 4 set ones, but it's a fucking mess.
It's tough. It was tough. I mean, I did it and I set up a thing where I had the empty bag with 6 slots, and then I had the stuff that I had in my bag in there. And I was like, okay, it's this, and this.
Yeah, yeah, not this game's greatest. That was the first time where I was like really just aggravated
Yeah.
by just a
Am I
mini
gonna
game.
make it?
Yeah.
I realized earlier I'd pointed out like we could probably breeze through these, but I do realize
Yeah,
where we're at time wise. So I'm gonna move a little swiftly through some of these.
so I would say let's just point out favorites and hates. I would say at this point, but you can kind of get how the from the Teneo chapter how this game goes. It's literally that dude or that family member's day, and they go into these crazy events that leads to a mini game, and it all lands with them getting back home to grandma, in one way or the other. It
Yeah,
might not be
exactly.
normal size, but they'll get there one way or
Yeah,
the
that's a
other.
good point. You start as Teneo, you play then as Etsuko, the matriarch, then you play as the daughter. I'm sorry,
Son first, then the
the
daughter. I don't
son
have
of
the
the
names.
family, Tsuyoshi, and then the daughter. Is it Ririko?
I don't have the names. I'm sorry.
I think it's Ririko. Is the last one, and Ririka. Sorry. Um,
But yeah, and then you do these
but yeah,
chapters, you get a grade, and then that is literally the formula for the game.
and they're all like varying, just like Taneo's chapter where we kind of went through those. Like each game is completely different from the last in terms of like button input and what they're expecting of you. And I will say, up until like the latter part of Tsuyoshi's campaign, a lot of the stuff you're doing is unique from one to the other. There's not really a lot of repeats in terms of like even meters or concepts. Like there's some things that are similar, but not really. But you do start to see Tsuyoshi mirror a little bit of Taneo, and then Ririka mirror a little bit of Etsuko when you get to her. Um, I did not like looks like Top Gun at all. That one drove me nuts. This is the one where you're as Etsuko, I think it's like two after the wait one. You're flying the plane
Oh, out of the
in the tunnel.
hangar.
Yes. Because it wasn't a bad mini game, but all of the doors, the way they open and where they want you to be, I could never consistently get where I needed to be in the right angle at the right time. It was such a pain.
Yeah, that one I have noted here that, and I remember like once I kind of got the idea of the flying obstacles, I was golden. I was actually all right with the hangar one. Um, yeah. I'm gonna do a like. I actually did like the next one that we left off on in our order, decoding the pig. That was like a little like fun little Guitar Hero thing where you're like, is the notes, like, okay, the notes coming down, but then sometimes they get branched over to the next
Oh, yeah, that
thing,
was
and you
cool.
kind of had to like do the timing. Like I said, it's very much reminiscent the way it's set up of Guitar Hero, but the way they move like a note over to what would be, you know, orange, it moves to blue. You know, if you're thinking of Guitar Hero. I like that one a lot. I like those ones, the DDRs, the Guitar Heroes, like the rhythm stuff.
Yeah,
Not necessarily rhythm,
those were
but they
fun.
played like that. Those are my favorite, I would say, type of game. Um,
Um,
you throwing out.
well, with Tsuyoshi, like once I understood what King of the Hill was, when you're because Tsuyoshi ends up
Yes,
getting shrunk.
same thing, same
Yeah,
exact thing.
once I figured out the rhythm of what that meter was to get him up the hill, I was like, oh, this is fun.
I
I
just
like what
started
I'm doing
mashing
here.
X because that's what I was used to for
Same, same.
two other family members.
Yeah. But with then right after that, you get like a repeat with Kiss of the Spider-Man. You end up kind of doing the pole nerd on a pole stuff
No, but
again.
I liked that one because the meter disappeared.
It was, yeah, it was a blind meter. You had to like guess where you were going.
I
Yeah.
was literally like at my screen, like doing a fake timing with my finger and
Yeah, like
hoping
you're
it was
watching it
yeah.
invisibly. Yeah.
Um, no,
It
because
was
when I saw
never
the
right.
same setup, I was like, oh, well, this is our first. At this point, this is our first repeat. I'm like, oh, that's disappointing. We're gonna repeat. And no, when I started doing the mirror one, and when I was like, okay, wait, hold on. At least it's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I did like that one. I like the disappearing bar.
Yeah.
Um,
The rest of Tsuyoshis are almost like repeats of Teneo. We get Titanic Away again.
mm-hmm.
Literally called Titanic Away again. Um, they're all like similar in nature. With Ririka, um, the tense teacher I think was maybe one of my favorites. Once I kind of like got the hook of it. This is where the teacher's writing on the chalkboard, and it's like one of the sliding block puzzle games, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm never like the best at, depending on the game, but it worked. Like you're moving a student, and you have to do it in time with the teacher not looking, otherwise he'll throw an eraser at the kid. Yeah, it was fun.
It's tough to tell when he's peeking. It seems like there's like no good warning for it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got burned a couple times, but no, that was like coming off of the last, the Suns thing, and it just all being kind of sort of repeats for the most part. Seeing that fresh I was about to say micro game. Seeing that fresh mini game was like, oh, okay, all right, hold on. There's still some depth to this game in the last
Yeah.
in the last couple chapters here. Oh, but waking up
Um
the kids didn't fucking work.
no. Like
Hit X to wake up kids. What?
there was one round where I was slamming X and I think it kind of did something, but then every other subsequent replay it just didn't
I
work. I
no
don't know.
idea. Yeah, in the instructions for that,
Dumb luck.
because the what happens is the students will fall asleep, preventing you from switching sometimes or making it more difficult. And the instructions say tap X to wake them up, but I promise you, I mashed, hit, selected rhythmically,
Everything.
did X,
You
and
know,
nothing happened.
I'm wondering now. I wonder if we were supposed to push in their direction and then hit X because I didn't do that.
Fair enough, I didn't do that, but the instructions, the two screen
No,
instructions,
the
did not
instructions did
specify.
not tell us. Yeah, not at all. Um,
I
I
found
did.
out
Yeah.
I suck at Simon.
Yeah, I'm not bad at Simon until like I'm expecting it to be 4 and it jumps to 7 or something like oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
Um,
I was not good at Simon. I didn't fail it, which I'm proud of, but I was one away. It was make or break in the last one.
yeah. Yeah, that one's tough. I did really by the time I got to through like Tsuyoshi and into Ririka, I was getting like B's and A pluses on the chapters.
Hmm.
I feel like I'd learned the game at that
Oh,
point,
I got a
which
D
was
on
cool.
Simon, but I passed. Hey, D's passing.
Yeah.
Oh, I will pick out.
You
I will say, the picking out the sale items. Now that was a lot more obtainable with the same menu as the pig
much
matching.
more. But also like that game felt like nothing to me. It was like
Not after the fucking pig balancing thing. Anything was better in that same menu
no, yeah,
format.
but this was just like fine like I don't know, like shampoo pear or whatever and it was like okay.
It's almost like they mixed up the timing for the two games.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
one felt the one with the daughter felt way too long, as opposed to the pig one being too short.
So yeah, too much pressure. Um, we get another Titanic away.
I did
One more
laugh at the
time,
title.
honest.
Yeah, I did laugh at the one more time, honest.
Yeah, and
Because
then
she lands on the bone, I'm like, again, fucking again. I was like, I'm over this, and then the title comes off. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, I laughed. I'll play one more time.
But I also at that point I wish they would have put the mom on the boat at some point too.
Fair.
That would have been to go all the way, but yeah.
I will say though, at that point, though, I had my strategy for like the
I
bug.
was
Like
set.
I
I was
got it.
good.
Like I
Yeah,
saw the
I was
boat
way
and I
good.
was like, oh, it's the same thing. But at the same time, I was like, I kind of know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert at this. The final game, De Crane. You're on a bicycle, and to pedal, you have to hit X and triangle, and you have to hit left and right to change lanes. This crane machine has a wrecking ball that eventually will try and come after you and drop the wrecking ball on you, but primarily what you're dodging is 5 cannons that are shooting across the not really 5 lanes that you're in. Like I felt like if I'm hitting left and right, I wasn't really going over 1 lane. I was going like 1.5 or
It was like
something like that.
imaginary because like the lanes were there, but it wasn't like set. There was no good indicator of the lane you're
Wasn't
in.
clean. No. So you're dodging those. If you get hit by a cannonball as it hits the ground, you'll kind of like fall back and you're either going to get run over by the crane or the crane will drop its ball on you. Um, and that's the goal. But like X and triangle, look, in theory, just doing like X triangle, X triangle, X triangle, not the end of the world. They wanted you to be, I literally had to put the controller down and do index and middle finger like pretty rapidly back and forth. Like, I don't know what tempo this is, but a fast enough tempo and then like dodge it. Hated that game.
It's a mess.
What was your strategy? Did you do the same? Like set it down and
I did different grips at different times and just hoped
yeah.
I didn't have to move much because there are times where I just ignored the directional buttons.
Were you doing 2 thumbs or 1 thumb up and down?
At times when I needed a break.
You're insane.
Oh,
I don't
it
know how you did
wasn't
it.
great. Like I was just trying to
No,
give my 2 fingers a rest. But if I had like a
did
different
that at some
position,
point to give. Yeah,
cause no, well,
Back and
sorry,
forth.
maybe I didn't do. Maybe I tried the 1 finger thing at times and it didn't work. No, I would go in with 2 thumbs. I would straight up just ignore the directional buttons
Oh,
and be like,
and
"Fuck it,
ignore.
I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah,
hits.
yeah.
I'll take hits for like 30 seconds. I just need my 2 fingers like
Because
a
you can
rest."
recover pretty quickly with how aggressively you have
Yes,
to pedal.
yes.
So it's not the end of the
So
world.
that's the thing that's crazy about this. 60 seconds, sure, I'd figure it out. This mini game's 3 minutes long, and you have to do
This game.
it.
Yeah.
You have to do the triangle X thing at that speed of like ta 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 ta
For 3 minutes.
for 3 minutes. For 3 minutes,
There's a
there's like
couple.
no way
few
around it.
games run way too long. I felt like the snowboarding game with Etsuko took way too long.
Oh, dude, what the fuck was the handling on her? Not to get away, not to escape the crane, but that was one
Yeah.
where I got lucky. I just got down the.
You push right and you're all the way right. You push left, you're all the way left.
Yeah,
Like you have to kind of like keep tottering back and forth. And I
yeah,
get it from a snowboarding perspective, but yeah.
that was a mess.
I
But
guess to that end, what I want to transition to is a little bit more like with the inputs. Like, do you feel like they did take real world physics into account for some of these things in interesting ways?
I mean, sure, but like some of this is just menuing.
Yeah,
Like the elevator mashing act, sure, I get it. But like the game before it, I'm rhythmically hitting energy drinks to run, and I got a directional button to jump or duck, but I don't know.
otherwise, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think my biggest gripe with that crane game was it was X and triangle. If you had like X and circle, I think I would have felt better about it, or X and square, or like just
Yeah, I
doing the
agree.
adjacent buttons, not the totally across the controller.
That's too much. Were there any games that you felt like you cheated because they just kind of wrapped up super quickly?
Oh, and that um
Yeah, like not literally cheated, just like you were like, wait, that's it?
probably that first running, the Taneo's second mini game, the running, because I don't even think I did
Yeah,
it
that
right,
was
and I got through it.
I just
And I was
ended.
like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, sure, I'll take it. I'll take a win.
I yeah, I agree with that. Um, in terms of visuals, I think the game looks really cool. I like the character models. I like how much went into like they designed a whole world within Incredible Crisis. I think that there's like a lot of unique spaces. I think they do interesting things like kind of blending fiction with reality, playing with size and scale when you see like Tsuyoshi shrink down and how he interacts with bugs and stuff like that. Um, it's neat. I think it was inventive.
Yeah, it throws you into a bunch of different settings too, just because of how wacky these days are going. It affords the story opportunity if you really need one to do crazy different backgrounds or environments or whatever.
Yeah,
I did like
yeah. I
some of the
think it.
cross section you got um in the family's days. I think the most notable one is the daughter and the father Taneo when it comes to the UFO
Yeah,
thing and the revelation of why she told him to protect the UFO.
right,
Um,
right.
but it was cool seeing that. And I did
Yeah,
like how
they
the
brought it all.
sons ended um, when he got back home super small to grandma's surprise, but he
To the
got
grandmother.
home.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Um, the music. I mean, again, not wouldn't call myself a ska fan, but I found
all right.
myself like especially once you'd clear a chapter and you're back sort of at the save thing, I was like bopping, like having a good time, like almost in celebration. I had a, I enjoyed that. I also noted the, okay, no, I have a note here that says regularly dancing to ska while playing. I have another one that says, I like the music in the boat water game a lot.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. I remember like
Yeah,
bopping some.
very much. Um, I think that's it on sound. I mean, some of the sound effects and the character reactions, especially in fail states, get a little annoying hearing them over and over again, but that's just the nature of a game like this. Um, before we kind of put our final stamp on this and rank it, I'm curious because I approach selecting a bunch of PlayStation games from the perspective of like the creative aspect of the PS1 and the putting gameplay first and those types of things, like bring that approach. I guess with this game, I found it to be pretty innovative in its own way. What do you see in this game that maybe influenced games like it later on?
Um, I mean the whole. I mean, I guess Mario Party is a thing at this point. So like, I can't say like you can make a whole game around mini games, but like it's okay to like build the. Again, not that I think this game is like story heavy or anything like that, but I think it's all right to like build a game around mini games because you got a story carrying you along. or you
Yeah.
got mechanics or a setting or something that carries it through just to make a game that has 30 mini games in it.
Yeah, and like we bring up WarioWare a bunch in comparison to this, but like WarioWare does have a through line through most of its games where there's like something happening to progress the main campaign. I think it fit in this. It was fun, like cute little thing to follow along with, and just sort of like weird and building their own world. I liked how unique it was. What do you think this brings to PlayStation?
The brand
Or
or PlayStation 1?
PS1 specifically? Just looking at that library and that console, like what do you think this does?
It just adds more diversity to, I don't that I mean I'm gonna say this a lot this year, but that console's so loaded with so many different games of so many different genres and so many different weird experiments, good or bad. Um, this is just like another almost like another notch in the belt of like how crazy diverse that platform is.
Yeah, I think it did a good job at like I talked about it earlier, but like taking advantage of the PlayStation hardware in different ways to like front load full CD audio, combine cool 3D effects, and like polygon sizes, things like that. I think putting putting together a collection like this on PS1 specifically, it is you know in similar fashion to what you just said. Like it's another part of the catalog that shows you just how like unique that catalog really was, and I dig it. Let's rank it. So every week on the Free Cheese podcast, we rank the video games we play on a list that we call the list, which you can find over at thefreecheese.com/the list. If you're watching the video version of the show, Matt's got it on the screen for us. Um, I think I threw out my number first last week. I will let you go. Where do you feel Incredible? What's your gut feeling on Incredible Crisis for ranking?
Probably it seems on the lower end, but again, this list is a little very top, not even little, very top heavy. I have this as the new 115 between
Ooh,
Obscure and Daikatana.
yeah. It's funny. Like between last week and this week, as I entered the ranking, I think we had a shift of like. Well, you brought me down to reality last week, I think, with the ranking, but also like in uh after doing so, I'm looking more at the stuff like ranking this game. I was definitely like a little more realistic and trying to look at the height of the list. I had it a little bit higher, but not much. I had it at 97,
Oh,
um,
okay.
above Cosmology of Kyoto, but below D2. Um, I think for me, it was stuff like Endless Ocean, where we've got it. I mean, I feel like Endless. Why did we put Endless Ocean above Anthem?
I don't know. I can tell by
That
my
had to
score
be,
I didn't.
yeah, that had to be me. Um, which Anthem, of course, just ended its
I know, Rip.
support last week. I know we got it in just in time. We knew we would. Um, yeah, that's right. So you got it. Let's see. The 115 you said
Yeah,
below Obscure, above
I
Daikatana.
think it's one of those things. I think yeah, Endless Ocean. I think I agree with, but then there is stuff like I think I like Acid better. Yeah, I think it's toss up. You can go between each one. Like I think I like it better, but I can see it's better being better in Cosmic Quest 2. Like Parodius is probably a better
Yeah,
game, and I like this. I like Amplitude better, and I like Road Rash better. But like I thought, I'd rather play this than Shin Chan. It's a little back and forth there. So honestly, if we land wherever we land there, I probably am happy with. I don't think you're losing me too much or making me too upset by bringing me up.
I guess if we drop, what's the
I don't
first
even
one
hate.
as we go?
Did you say you
Yeah,
were where were you at? Above Cosmology
ab,
97?
yeah, above Cosmology, below D2.
I didn't think I hate that.
All right,
Yeah, yeah. Let's put it there.
you made the top 100. Incredible Crisis. Congratulations. There it is. Another one on the books. Next week, we've got another gameplay first video game. I don't know why I stacked these schedule-wise so close to one another, but alas. Katamari Damashi, however you prefer.
There's going to be a
We'll be
lot of
talking
me
about.
saying Damasi, I think, next.
It's hard when you see it.
I'm just going to commit to it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Correct me.
You're not wrong. I mean, that's how it's spelled. Like if you're reading it in English, it's that. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing where like I know it's Damashi, I get it, but also like I'm not gonna say like Shigeru Miyamoto. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be that dude. Like his name's Miyamoto. Sorry, I can't. If I were speaking Japanese and I were meeting him, sure, I will do my best.
I'm an ignorant
To
American out of Maryland. It's going to be Damasi.
it's not even an ignorance as much as it is like it's just how it's. We don't have a word in English that has she spelled with cy. Like I understand that the kanji has that pronunciation, but nah, dude. All right, so there's that. 2 games on the books, man. We're moving right along. We'll be back next week with Katamari Damacy. Na 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 na. So they say. Until then, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, Matt. We'll see you next time. Bye.